Hello loves, and welcome back to another episode of a Ravenclaw Rants, which is where my nerdy ass rants about whatever the hell I want to rant about. And today we're going to be talking about Jada Pinkett Smith and her Cleopatra documentary. Okay, because I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. Okay, so her intention with this, Jada Pinkett Smith's intention with this, as far as wanting to uplift and have African queen representation for like her daughter and stuff, that's a beautiful thought. That's a beautiful intention. That's a beautiful idea and concept to work with, and we definitely need that. Like, there's so many iconic African queens that could be talked about. And so when the trailer came out for it being Cleopatra, and while Cleopatra is iconic, and she's iconic in certain ways, like certain things she did, she was very intelligent, she was very smart, she was very tactical, like she knew many languages, she knew what she was doing, but she was still a colonizer, okay? We're not going to ignore that fact. She was still a colonizer. In the trailer, there's a part where this lady basically says, I don't care. My grandma told me when I was little, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black. And that's the part of the trailer that really tripped people up. And then the portrayal of Cleopatra as being black in the documentary is a lot of misinformation. Why is it a lot of misinformation, Abby? What are you talking about? Yeah, Cleopatra was white, okay? She was white. She was Greek Macedonian, okay? So that's like upper Greek, like not, super, like not where lower, where you're getting more like of the brown, like people. No. She was upper Greek in that region. And that's where her family comes from. We have her entire like family tree, basically, and she's like related to Alexander the Great. She is very white. There were portraits, pictures, sculptures done of her features, like paintings done of her, commissioned by her, approved by her, of people that were there with her, that spent time with her, that captured her. And in every single one of those, she was white, like super white, like white, like white. Okay. So not only do we have her family tree, not only do we know that her family intermix, like brother and sister will mix to keep the bloodline pure. So you can't be like, Abby, but it could be like some African blood in there from blah, blah, blah. No. They intermix. It's not there. It does not exist. The logic does not exist there. So not only do we know all of these things, we have paintings of her that were commissioned by her. Cleopatra is very well documented. Okay, period. Argue with your mother. She's very well documented. To then come online and then post this trailer and then have someone in that documentary that you're doing of Cleopatra be like, oh yeah, Cleopatra was black, when we know she wasn't, is rewriting history in a way that is just obscene. Because one of the things about Cleopatra, even though she was very well loved by Egyptians in some parts, specifically because she actually tried to give a fuck. That was kind of her thing. She tried. And when I say she tried, I mean like she actually learned the Egyptian language. Previous like rulers and even certain members of her family and the people who were ruling Egypt, they did not care about the people. They just wanted to rule Egypt, right? So they didn't really care about connecting, learning, not a concern. She actually tried to, olive branch, to like learn the language and connect. And so she gains a kind of kinship with the people in that way. But she was very tactical. She was still playing she was literally a colonizer. She was still playing colonial games. Like she was really her whole entire what she was doing was with colonizers. Like it was still like appeasing colonizers, appeasing like the people who wanted to take control of Egypt, all of these kind of things. She tried to advocate for the people here and there, but she was still herself a colonizer, and her whole entire bloodline is literally colonizers. And it's like, this is known, like this is history, this is something that's very well documented. For Jada Pinkett Smith to come on to come on the world's internet, okay, and decide to do this collaboration with Netflix and do like the initial thought of, you know, wanting again the African queens representation, and to wanting to document and put documentaries about that, that's beautiful. I would have been hyped about that. But the misinformation, calling a colonizer African, like black, like Cleopatra was born in Alexandria, right? So she was born in Africa, but she was not African. And honestly, that is also tactical, to have someone who's going to be next to colonize and rule that land be born there, so that, you know, you can't really say, oh yeah, but yes, she's Greek, and everybody knew that. And that was something that was like, it was known, but it's something you can say, oh, but I was born here too, you know, like when a colonizer wants to claim, you know, colonizer tactics. She did a lot of stuff, and she was known to do a lot of stuff, but she was still a colonizer, okay? And so to come on here and be like, yeah, she was a beautiful black queen who's responsible of the destruction of one of the greatest civilizations of all time. Like, why would you want to make her a black queen? Like, yes, Cleopatra is iconic, but why would you want to put that on a black woman? First of all, and it's just not true. That's the other thing about it. It's literally a lie. And so a lot of Greeks are pissed about this, because of course they're going to be proud of their colonial history, right? And a lot of Egyptians are pissed about it because it's a lie. It's literally rewriting history, and you're basically telling them that their colonizer was a whole different person than they actually were. Please. It's like saying, and I've seen memes about this, I've seen people create memes saying that Christopher Columbus was a black man. Like, they'll Photoshop his portraits and be like, no, he was black, he was African, he was black, he was Italian. And honestly, if there ever is a documentary of Christopher Columbus and they cast someone African or black to play him, I'm going to throw arms. Okay, I'm straight up, because that's offensive. Not only to my Taino ancestors, but to my African ancestors, because that man started the slave trade. Like, he started the rape, the assault, the kidnapping of my African ancestors into this continent. So for people to be out here spreading misinformation, talking about, oh, he was black, it's the same way like saying Cleopatra was black. She's a colonizer. Why are we claiming colonizers? I've seen memes and people saying, and videos of people saying, oh, Henry VIII was black, even though we have documented, like, we have his portraits, we have his paintings, we have all these documents that saying that he was very much not black. But people would claim that random historical figures, William Shakespeare was black. So many different historical figures are just like black now. And it's weird. It's weird, it's misinformation, and I don't know what is going on. Like, this Jada Pinkett Smith, honestly, if I'm keeping it 100 with y'all, I never liked her vibe. There was something about her I don't know, especially the way with the whole Will Smith thing. I never really liked her vibe. It's giving icky in many ways. Like, the way she moves is a little weird. But this doesn't help anybody. And when I say doesn't help anybody, I mean, like, I saw this tweet about how this whole situation is gonna basically bring up a lot of anti-blackness from people who are pissed about this when it comes to Americans, because obviously Jada Pinkett Smith is an African American who is producing this whole entire thing, and she's getting a lot of heat right now. And I've been seeing some tweets, some anti-black stuff being said by both Greeks, North Africans, okay, Egyptians. I've seen there's obviously valid points where you're saying, hey, why are you calling our colonizer like a black person? Why are you doing that? That's false. Why are you rewriting our history? Like, I understand those comments, but then when you start taking jabs at African Americans in a very like okay, you just crossed anti-black territory because Jada Pinkett Smith decided to put her own community in the position of now getting verbally harassed online by North Africans, Greeks. Also, Europeans are definitely going off about this, which is annoying because, like, of course, Eurocentric people are going to want to, go up in arms about this because they want to claim it. Like, everybody's like obsessed with Egypt and they want to claim a bunch of stuff, but it's just putting the community in a position where now they're gonna be getting a lot of verbal abuse and there's a lot of anti-blackness that's just like rising up because of the situation. Is just really unfortunate, and it just really comes up like she just didn't have to put out the misinformation. That's where my heart is. It's like, why would you lie? Like, her comments, she posted the video on her Instagram, the trailer, and she has her comments off. Like, if you right, why is your comments off? I thought you was right. I'm just saying, I thought you was right. No, her comments are off. She doesn't want to hear what anybody else has to say. And there's like petitions right now. There's people canceling their Netflix. It's really unfortunate. I'm just like, this didn't need to happen. Like, okay, I was really looking forward to this African Queens documentary. Like, I would love for more of that to be visibility, but instead it turns into this black washing narrative. And it's like, why are historical figures that are very much so, very, very white, now being portrayed and stated that they were actually black? And that is the education you're trying to pass on to people about history. Like, it's just weird. I'm sorry. That is my rant. I don't know how y'all feel about this. Let me know in the comments about how y'all feel about this. Because this whole thing is really, it's just really sad. It's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening to this really something rant. And I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys so much.